I'm sorry again. Hello,
Yes.
I'm Atena, CEO and co-founder of Pocket Clinic. We are presenting the next generation of smart injectors for all kinds of chronic disease patients who needs to inject medication continuously. But right now, our main focus is on diabetes. Is it changing? No.
Not yet.
Okay.
There we go.
Diabetes runs in my family, like many families. My relatives live with this chronic condition, and I personally witnessed the challenges my beloved family members face in assisting them with the constant monitoring of their glucose levels and enduring painful injections multiple times a day. Some of you may know this struggle too. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm sorry for it. Their journey, I'm so sorry, something is going on here. Their journey began with a routine visit to the family doctor, concerned about their unusual symptoms like constant thirst and fatigue. They hoped for a simple explanation. However, it was a diagnosis that they, like many others, hadn't seen coming: diabetes. Their life quickly transformed into a daily routine of glucose monitoring and insulin injections. No parent or caregiver is prepared for this chronic disease. Actually, handling the ups and downs of this chronic condition is a full-time job. As the day turned into months, they began to explore better ways to manage their condition. The idea of an insulin pump got them excited because of the freedom it could offer and a chance to escape the constant injections. This is the insulin pump, which has been used for more than 30 years. And this is the newest technology that market offers that provides continuous treatment to improve quality of life for them. Although it provides better treatment, but it's a piece of hospital equipment, it's very complicated and expensive. And even this gold standard only is used by 30% of type 1 diabetes and less than 1% of type 2 diabetes. With a background as a couple with a background in microelectronics and biomedical engineering and a track record of successful entrepreneurial venture, we were confident that we could come up with a solution that would allow our family members to independently manage their injections while also making life easier for their caregivers. This is our goal: a high-tech device under your sleeve with a familiar user interface in your hand. No need to add extra device in your pocket. This is Maria. She's an insulin-dependent diabetes since she was 5. For most of her life, she tried to hide her disease and avoid injecting insulin in public or even among her friends. With our solution, she won't be overwhelmed because with the push of a button, she can control the amount of injection. She doesn't need to carry lots of stuff and be worried about the pump while taking a shower or swimming. Our solution is invisible under the clothing, so she won't feel limited in fashion choices. This won't cost too much compared to her multi-daily injections. AI algorithm deliver personalized insulin dosing to her. Also, she can share her status with her family members and caregivers easily. MEMS technology has been utilized in our patented solution, which gives us the ability to reduce significantly in size and price. We're presenting the first 7-day patch pump in the market. This smart injector consists of 2 parts: the main part, which is durable, rechargeable, secure, and reliable. And the second part is the cartridge with various capacities. We use microneedle to minimize the pain, and improve patients' compliance. Single button press insertion makes it easy to use, and I'll show you in a moment how this may save you money. Market research shows that still more than 75% insulin-dependent diabetes don't have access to new technology due to the high cost of the treatment, and they use syringe and multi-daily injections to manage their condition. Our innovative business model disrupts the multi-daily injections by making the upfront investment more manageable. Plus, the monthly subscription fee is designed to be affordable for everyone, no matter their income level and insurance coverage. You won't need a new insurance code, and it's not only saving you life, it saves you money. The steady sale of single-use cartridge will greatly boost the revenue. Our customer will keep coming back for more cartridges as they regularly need that. We're excited to aim for 70 million in revenue in 3 years of operation. Besides cost, we also differentiated ourselves in many aspects, such as technology that we use that results in more accurate dosing, extend time of wearability that reduces plastic waste, and also the number of device handling and variable cartridge capacities, which makes us unique in the market. Our mission is to support young kids and teens with type 1 diabetes, along with elderly individuals dealing with type 2 diabetes. Many youngsters and adolescents face the challenge of needle-related anxiety, the burden of frequent daily injections, and the emotional stress associated with their condition. Indeed, caregivers also encounter challenges when it comes to monitoring elderly individuals and ensuring accurate dosing. Therefore, we are bringing forth an affordable solution that you can comfortably wear for an extended period of time. And to make this happen, we are teaming up with clinics and hospitals, making it easier to access through insurance and hospitals. The global market for insulin pump devices is valued 15 billion by 2030. In SAM, this will reach 13 billion, and we divided our SAMs into multiple SAM, our SAM into multiple SAMs that address different regions with the highest population of diabetes, such as China, India, North America, and Latin American countries. Our current team is divided into 2 sectors: engineering, medicine. Our engineering team has various backgrounds in biomedical, electronic, and mechanical engineering with more than 10 years experience in this field. And our medical team has more than 14 years experience in type 1 diabetes treatment, making us expert in our market. We gather, sorry, I can't see my page. The support of our expert advisory board with more than 25 years experience in different fields of business development to share their insight and help us grow. They also play active role in developing regulatory and commercialization strategy for us. We believe that growing solo is not possible. So I'm happy to share that we receive support from well-known incubators and universities. And also, developing a solid intellectual property strategy is crucial for us as a medical startup. That's why we teamed up with Berskin and Parr and received the IP Assist strategy development support from IRAP, not only to protect our innovation, but also to add value to our company. Our timeline outlines our goal to launch our product by 2026 This year, we're focusing on closing the seed round, finalizing our manufacturing design, and conducting benchtop tests. In 2024, our focus will shift to conducting 3 months of clinical trial for our 7-day cartridge, preparing for an FDA pre-submission, and securing a next round of investment followed by FDA submission by the end of the year. Marketing efforts are scheduled for 2025 with the ultimate aim of product launch in 2026. We are funding our innovative solution to address a global challenge through a combination of personal investment totaling 100K from the founders and securing over 100K of grant. And we ask for 2 million to get us one step closer to bring this to market. In order to accomplish our goal, this money will help us finalize the product, initiate the fabrication of the first batch, and get ready for regulatory processes. And at the end, diabetes don't choose their disease. Don't they deserve to choose their treatment? Thank you.
Thanks, Atena. Okay, now we've got Maureen and Kathy to provide some feedback and ask questions. Maureen, I'll turn it over to you to start that conversation.
Okay. Nice pitch. I think you did identify the problem clearly. It's a growing problem. It's pretty well understood that diabetes is a problem and treatment is a problem. I'm not I think maybe you could segment your target market a little better, or a little more finely maybe, because I'm not sure. So I don't think all people with diabetes are going to be your target customer, but certain ones will, and it would be useful to identify that. I don't know what the other products are, but I thought there were some other smaller products on the market, smaller than the one you showed, that you might want to look at as competitors.
Okay.
And your sales projection of $70 million is huge.
Yeah.
But I don't see the path to get there.
Okay.
So, what would be your business program? What is going to be your sales program, your marketing program? $70 million is huge. So we're kind of going from zero until 2025. And then, how are you going to get to the 70 million? Okay, that would be helpful.
Of course.
Good pitch. I think, there are a few things you need to do to adjust it, but I'm sure you're getting there.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the technical problem I've encountered, but thank you for all the feedback. And for the financial part, we're working with our advisor that she would introduce us. I'm going to share that with her, and we're going to have some feedback from her as well.
Yeah, but my advice would be work with an advisor, but take on the financial, get to know it really well, know your whole path, know your sales numbers. You really take that on. It's really important.
Okay, perfect. Of course.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maureen. Kathy.
Thanks, Maureen. Yeah, great pitch, Atena.
Thank you.
Very good, interesting product. One just question off the top, because I'm not really familiar with this market or diabetes. When you introduced the smart injector platform, you sort of introduced it as something much bigger than even just diabetes. Yeah. But you didn't really add anything about that. So maybe just add some examples to that, right? So the smart injector market holistically could be used to address several illnesses, and we're starting with diabetes. It just shows how massive this market opportunity is. The other thing is the real world story about your family was really relatable. So that's a really good way to describe the problem to everybody. And it also speaks to why this is an important problem for you to solve as well. And then you go into there's the chart where I think you show a young woman and her father or just the young woman, and you can see
Yeah.
you're trying to show that she's overwhelmed. But you get into some specifics about diabetes, right? So you have T1D,
Yeah.
which is, I guess, short form for type 1 diabetes.
1,
And
yeah.
then you talk about pancreas. I'd just say make that way more generic, right? Like, I love my dad and I watch him suffer and I want to help him with his caregiving as much as I can. So really pull less about the technical details of the disease and more about the human feelings that the daughter's having related to her dad.
Perfect.
And how this, and then you go right into how this particular solution really makes life easier for both of them. Are you familiar with a business model called the razor and blade
No.
business model? Okay, so I'm going to suggest that you just do a little bit of research
Of course.
on that, because based on what you described, so it sounds like the pod lasts about 2 years and then the cartridges are replaced every 7.
Exactly. Every
Years?
7 days. So they're going to need 4 cartridges per month.
Right.
It costs
And
about 100.
there's also the software too. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you in a very high level, the razor and blade model, it shifted, I don't know now, maybe about 10 years ago now. They used to sell just these really expensive razors and then they would give the blades away. And then they realized, hey, wait a minute, once we can hook somebody on the actual razor, then we can charge all kinds of money for the blades that they need. And, we're basically giving a razor away for free because we know it's going to drive them to go and purchase the blades, right? So just take a look at that model because it might fit for you, and you could actually, because to drive adoption, you want them to buy the pod, right?
Exactly.
Because once they have the pod, they need the cartridges, and it sounds like already you're quite a bit cheaper than the existing options.
Yeah,
So you
true.
could even go a little bit more expensive maybe on the cartridges. 90% of the cartridges are going to be reimbursed by insurance anyway for most people, right? So, go really cheap on the pod to drive adoption and then more expensive on the cartridges once they're hooked.
That's a great point.
And the other
Thank
thing
you,
is that
that's exactly what we're looking for. Thank you so much for bringing this up.
no problem. Yeah, it's called the razor and blade
Okay,
business
I
model.
definitely take a look.
And then so you talked about the software application. So what that highlighted, and you didn't really talk about that being paid for. So it was almost like that came for free.
No, it's going to be $50. It's a subscription-based model, and they're going to have 24/7 support from their nutritionist, psychologist, like physical instructors, and also there's a community. Actually, we want to build a community. We believe it's not just dealing with the medication, just they can share their status and everything with each other, and just have a community of diabetes. That's what we are focusing for our software.
Okay, so so maybe some more thought on that, because you didn't really talk about the business model.
No, because I thought it's going to be too much.
Well, and it might be, unless you talk about the subscription model on the cartridges.
Okay.
So you're going to charge. So say just for argument's sake, you're going to charge $1,000 a month, and they get 4 cartridges, which takes them through the month, and they also have access to the software platform. And these are the benefits of the software platform. And they're in a subscription. So every month you're going to ship them 4 cartridges, and then they just have that, license that goes on for the software. And that becomes part of your value differentiation as well, right? So, you talk about the value differentiation in the context of the pod. It's not painful. It's easy to swap out the cartridges, blah, blah, blah. That's great. This becomes a further value differentiation. Plus, we're going to get them to sign up for a subscription for the cartridges that we're going to ship monthly. And they're also going to, with that, have access to the software.
Perfect.
Just give that some thought.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, and then you can really, then you tie, if you tie the software in more to the product, then you also tie in the whole caregiving community for the person and their family, and even the care team beyond their family as well. So that ties back to the beginning chart where you're talking about your family and your passion, and the daughter worrying about, you know, well-being of her dad, right? So that sort of ties it all in together. The market chart was good. The timeline was good. Your ask was good. I would just say what that gets you to. So I think you say it in the previous chart that in 2025, you're going to go for a $10 million Series A to bring you to the broad commercial launch. I'd say that again on the ask chart. So this gets you through your clinical trials. It gets you through, you know, your manufacturing stuff. And then it prepares you for the $10 million Series A for the broader global market launch in 2020. Okay, that's all I had.
Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate it.
That's fantastic. We have a couple extra, I mean, Atena, do you have any specific questions you'd like to pose to Maureen and Kathy? And we have a few more minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Because about the razor and the blade, it was really interesting for me. It was the first time for me to hear that, but that's exactly what we wanted to suggest, because right now they have the pump, and the pump they need to use it for 1 month, and then they need to just throw all the electronics with the cartridge with everything away. So that's what we're suggesting. Our pod is rechargeable, and you can use it for 2 years. You have 2 pods for 2 years, so 1 pod for each year. And that's the thing that we exactly what we were focusing, that we say, okay, you can have the pod, and our main revenue generator is going to be the cartridges, which we are not going to fill with the insulin. They need to buy the insulin. We just provide the cartridge with different capacities for even type 1 when they need more volume of the insulin, and type 2 when they need less volume of the insulin. And that was really interesting. I really want to talk about that part of the our marketing strategy, something like this, but I'm not sure how to put it exactly in our pitch like that they understand the value that we are bringing. I just compare them with compare the prices. We say, okay, we're gonna at 5 years, you're gonna have to pay $10K for our product, the whole, but which compared to the current pump available, it's gonna be a $50K, for example.
Okay, so I don't get that math, because the way you described it, well, let me just do the math. So it was $150 per cartridge.
$150 for the cartridges. That's going to be 4.
Or plus 1,200. Wait a minute.
150 per month.
Oh yeah, plus 400. So the math is 16. I just did it quickly. It was 16,000, right? So roughly. So I'm not sure I'm clear on your question in terms of the pitch, talking about the business model to investors. I can ask Maureen to validate, but I think most investors will understand the razor blade business model.
I think most investors are very interested in recurring revenue. So if you sell the pump, and you might even want to discount the pump, make it less expensive, and increase your profit through recurring revenue from medication that you buy that's compatible with that pump.
Yeah, and the software. Yeah, so you basically would say, we're gonna, give the pump away for almost free, and then hook them into a recurring revenue subscription model at $1,500 a month, and this gives them access to blah blah blah. And then you talk about the value, and then you can so that's the business model, and then you can talk about that again in your go-to-market. So how you're going to hook them with the cheapness of the pump, And then the ease of use of the subscription model for the cartridges, plus the access to the software to further differentiate that value. The other thing that I highlighted based on what you just shared, Atena, which is another value differentiation that might matter to a few of your customers. So you said that the existing product on the market, the existing pump product on the market needs to be replaced every month.
No, actually, every 3 days they need to replace it. So they're gonna buy each month 10 of that. So they're gonna have it for a whole month. So 10 of them, the main part with the cartridges that if they are not separate. So they need to have it, and then each month they need to throw all of them away, even the
And there's
electronics.
there's all kinds of electronics embedded.
Exactly, and also the plastic that they're using for the pump. That's why I just am a little bit. I touched that we're gonna have less plastic waste as well.
Yeah, so I think, double down on the sustainability impacts of your solution as well, because that would be appealing to a large portion of the market.
Okay, perfect. And one other question I have about my go-to-market strategy slide. Do you think it's enough there if I present it like this, or you think it's going to add more value if I just change it somehow? Because I just want to emphasize that right now we are focusing on elderly individuals and also on adults, actually teens.
I think that's good, but might want to also segment them by how they're insured. What country are you starting in? Canada, in the US? Are you looking at people with, so if it's the US, I presume it's the insured market. Are you communicating with the insurers to make sure that they cover your product and your supplies?
Thank you.
And the same in Canada, you need to have a billing code for it for each province. So it would take some work to get each province signed up. And then what's your sales mechanism? Do you sell through endocrinologists? Do you sell direct to customer? How does that go?
Okay. Customer journey. Okay, definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay, good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you.
Stop recording here.